Hey, and we're back with another episode of Radio News Radio, whatever we're still calling the show. It's me, your host, Ethan. And today we got a ton of news. Most of it is a wide variety of news from everything that we love here at Pop Culture. And we got a ton of movie news, we got a ton of game news, and then we peppered in a little bit of some TV show news. But let's get the negatives out of the way, shall we? Headlining again, as per usual. You know who it is. Your favorite. Nintendo is pretty much guaranteeing that all physical third-party Nintendo games, nearly 75%, will be game key cards only. They will not come on an actual physical chip. Most of them, not all of them. Now, this will be determined due to the companies that determine whether or not when they put their games on the Nintendo Switch 2, if they want to opt out for the physical cards themselves at a higher purchase rate, or if they're going to just do game key cards when it comes to physical units outside when you want to do physical game cases. So essentially, you're buying an empty case with a key card that may very well be empty, especially there's no used versions of these. If you ever think about codes when it came to the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, when it came to digital codes for gun skins, character skins, or season passes, or what have you, even well into the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 era, most of these, if you find those games with those codes now, they are well and truly expired, and that's going to become a big deal moving forward. Especially who really is going to hurt by this is GameStop. Nintendo used to be kind of the saving grace for GameStop, as that's usually where children would go to buy games. It's where parents that don't really know all that much and call everything a Nintendo would go to buy games. And now that Nintendo is kind of opting out of the physical marketplace slowly but surely, with the death of 1,000 cuts over here, they're well on their way to pretty much making physical copies, at least for the Nintendo Switch 2 in the foreseeable future. And Sony will probably follow along, and then Microsoft right behind them. It looks like, as sad as it is for me as a physical collector of physical media, it looks like the digital age is truly and fully upon us. And this is just the first step. Or the first major step. I know we've been in a digital marketplace for some time, but it's just sad to see that Nintendo, who has been a pioneer for collecting and repurposing and porting and, keeping games alive, is suddenly doing a switcheroo and 180 on us. So it's sad. As I hold my copy of Yoshi's Island Super Mario Advance for the Game Boy Advance, I'm left thinking, wow, if they had thought that back then, some of these games wouldn't be as legendary. And it makes me wonder, when games truly do start to go into a digital era, are we going to be able to maintain these games, especially for digital preservation moving forward? There needs to be efforts to do so, because in 2015, 20, 25, even 30 years from now, will people be playing Mario Kart World? Will games and titles like Donkey Kong Bonanza be as widely remembered? I mean, part of the idea and part of the allure for gamers even then is that even if you don't play something now, you might pick it up physically later. And that's not to say that the digital marketplace won't always be there, but it also gives it this weary feeling of, potentially missing out on great titles and only hearing about it via videos and YouTube and stuff. So I'm curious to see what will happen next. It is definitely sad. We could definitely make a whole video. I mean, we're already 5 minutes into this episode practically, and we've talked just about the looming presence of the all digital era. But let's move on to some more negative news, and then we'll get on to the more positive stuff. So we're going to talk about some closures here. For starters, the servers are going to be closing on 2 Xbox games, one of which is the one that we already know. Oh, 3 Xbox games, my bad. Oops. Dauntless is closing on May 29th, 2025. It's an online game. Never really played Dauntless all that much, but if you're into it, it was an online-only game. It says it takes around 350 to 500 hours to do all the achievements. That's like a no-go. And a surprise to nobody's surprised, on May 30th, 2025, Multiverses, Warner Brothers game thingy, hybrid Super Smash Brothers clone that had 2 releases, unfortunately has faltered and is gone. It's really sad to see games like this go. I mean, I personally never played it. You would think I would have played something like this, given the fact that it is a fighting game, and I'm super into fighting games, but you can't beat Super Smash Brothers. I know that the people are for the niche players that are playing something like that is Super Smash Brothers inspired, that the only other game that seems to be getting some sort of highlight and attention and actual player base and a little cult following has been Brawlhalla. So any other games for the marketplace is just kind of like a quick footnote, and then it dies off. Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl has 2 games, and I think both of them are pretty much dead. And Multiverses just couldn't sustain itself, and it's gone. Don't know enough about Dauntless. If you're into Dauntless and you like it, good for you. It's never great to see games go away. And leads us to our third and final game that is disappearing and is said to be closed soon, is the Evil Dead the Game. Evil Dead the Game is a four-player cooperative upscale versus game. So you'd go up against the the creatures of the night, different deadites and things from Evil Dead 1 to Ash vs. Evil Dead, and of course Army of Darkness. So it was a little fever dream for people that are fans of the Evil Dead series and franchise in general, but this asymmetric horror game will keep its servers online for now, but it is anyone's guess. It literally was delisted out of nowhere, and it has only been out for barely 3 years. This is very sad, and it's also scary when it comes to companies if they look to invest. Personally, I'm not a fan of asymmetrical online games. I know that Dead by Daylight is going strong for now. Will it be there still around in 20 years? I doubt it. The Leatherface game is probably right around the corner for being delisted as well. The Friday the 13th game got delisted because of licensing. The Evil Dead game here just got delisted because of licensing. So chances are that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game that launched last year is probably got like maybe 2 years at best, as licensing's come to an issue. Again, these are like little indie developers that aren't exactly known for too many, and they spend most of their budget acquiring the rights so they can make this quick little flash in the pan, and it's popular for all of a month, and then it's gone. And then anyone that's still playing it, they're really good at the game, but they know the game backwards and forwards. So anyone new looking to play these asymmetrical online multiplayer games are kind of at a loss when they go up against people that have that know the ins and out of the meta and the game and the timing and the map and the layout and the the switch ups and the roguelike elements to these games. Personally, I don't think that it is wise for companies to keep doing this, to keep doing these asymmetrical horror slash multiplayer only games. I think the only one that seems to be working well is Dead by Daylight, but that's because they're constantly updating the game, and they're constantly having a new set of stuff, from horror icons to anime to bizarre selections here and there, and collabs with different horror themed video games as well. So and the thing is that game's not safe too, because they have taken away several licenses from that. I think Jigsaw was like on the verge of not being in the game again. They were going to pull the Saw away from the game, but then they re-upped the license for that, but they were unable to obtain or reattain or keep the license for Stranger Things when they put the Demogorgon in that game. So they, instead of axing the game altogether, they just go ahead and remove that content from the game as is, and it's unpurchasable. And then, like, I guess, certain people's games that they bought, they can use the creature and slash the survivors and or any skins or something. I'm not too familiar with Dead by Daylight, but I know it's going strong, and it is what it is. It's asymmetrical games, but again, nevertheless, I never like seeing things get delisted. I don't care what it is. Art is art. People should experience it. If people are excited to play these games, they should play it. I guess the only way to play Evil Dead now is to get a physical copy, which, you're going to see those skyrocket in price, much like the Friday the 13th game did, for at least for the Xbox and PlayStation. Nowhere on the Switch. I don't think this game has a Switch version, though. But I know that Friday the 13th did. Well, that's it for our negativity, though we will talk about a little bit of some goofs here throughout the rest of the episode. My goodness, I'm sorry, I'm clearing my throat a bunch. Hey, we got one more bad news. Sorry, I don't mean to cut to the chase, but speaking of cutting, EA cuts around 300 jobs and then cancels a new Titanfall game that was in development. Now, Titanfall has been one of those games where it was an online-only game, then it was gone. Another game that gone and lost to time with delisting and all that. And now we have all we have left for those who are fans of the Titanfall little genre thing that EA had created was Titanfall 2. Now, me, personally, I've actually played Titanfall 2. I think it is one of, if not the better, one of the top 10 Xbox One and PlayStation 4 genres of the first-person shooter. I think it was definitely very creative. I think if you know, you know, but the time-shifting portion of the campaign was phenomenal. The relationship between the pilot and the Titan itself was really, really cool. And overall, I had like this Iron Giant feel to the narrative for Titanfall 2. And I really enjoyed Titanfall 2. Didn't really play much of the multiplayer. It was kind of dead when I played it. But I had a good jaunt. Easy enough achievements. One little hard one. But I enjoyed it, and it was like, if they do another one, I'll probably keep my eye open for that. Well, that never came because the company behind it was mostly tied down to continuously supporting the ever-popular Apex Legends. Now, apparently EA had a separate team of around 300 people and then some working on a Titanfall game. Now, it's not saying that it is Titanfall 3, but from the reports here, it says that EA cuts around 300 jobs, cancels new Titanfall game that was said to be an extraction shooter. Now, call me, this is where the tinfoil hat starts to come out, but call me crazy. But I think EA was paying a little close attention to what Bungie was doing. Sure, it was probably, within the industry, not a secret that Bungie was working on something and that it was in fact going to be using their old IP with Marathon, and that it was going to be a extraction shooter. But as time went on, while they were developing Marathon, the reboot or whatever the hell they're going to be calling it, the subgenre that is extraction shooter has dramatically changed to the point where people are just not playing these things in general. And, it's lukewarm at best, and then the reception towards Marathon has been very, 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 lucrative and one-sided. And if the number of players playing the beta or closed alpha, if you will, the closed alpha, the Steam charts show that they had about 4,000 players at a peak, with and then dropping off 1,000 players each day for all 4 days of the closed alpha, which means that they lost nearly 40% of the would-be players for their closed alpha within the first day of this game. That goes to tell me that majority of the people who got to play this, which would have been high-profile people that were played, a lot of Destiny and Destiny 2, and subsequently maybe even Marathon on the side, you would expect these people to be playing this. Now, you'll be wondering and thinking to yourself, well, what does this have to do with Titanfall? Well, I think it has everything to do with it. You see, people like EA are all about numbers. And if the numbers are showing that a lot of people are not interested in this genre anymore, with extraction shooters falling down the wayside, it's probably in their best interest to not keep spending as much money. And they're looking to cut back in an ever-growing industry that is costing a lot, and I mean a lot of money. So if they see it as a win-win, hey, let's not waste our time with this anymore and cut jobs in the process, they probably thought it was probably for the best. Do I think that's the best thing? Not really. Do I think they should have been working on an extraction shooter? No. But it's never great to hear that jobs are being lost. But it is EA after all. They aren't exactly the brightest or nicest people when it comes to the industry as a whole. Now, what do I want for Titanfall moving forward? I don't want Titanfall to die. I would like to see another creative game without all these gimmicks and goofy goblin bullshit that is infecting, the concurrent landscape when it comes to, first-person shooters and Call of Duty and all that nonsense that I don't give a shit about or play. But it's a hard thing to follow. I mean, let's face it. Titanfall 2 is very, well received by a lot of people. It's got a cult following. People love it. And if they can't outdo themselves in terms of at least the narrative campaign, because that's what people are going to, average goers like myself are going to go and play the game. They're going to play it for the narrative. And if it's not up to par or as good as or better than Titanfall 2, I don't see it working out for Titanfall moving forward. But let's see. EA will sit on it until it's useful to them. We'll see what happens. But it seems that Titanfall and their Respawn are more focused on completing their Star Wars trilogy and working on Apex Legends. So, hey, speaking of working on stuff, it looks like Randy Pitchford and his team at Borderlands 4 with Gearbox, they are very confident in their ability and the game itself. They're so confident, in fact, that they're willing to actually push up the game from September 23rd, 2025 to September 12th, I believe it says here, 2025. Yeah, September 12th or 13th. So let's address the elephant in the room. Gearbox and Randy Pitchford in general, right? I don't buy this, they're confident and they've been cooking, as he says, trying to act like he's a millennial and he's a fucking 50-year-old man. Dude, give it a rest. Beside the point, I don't really care for Borderlands. I have no hat in this race. It's a tap X to pick up simulator, whatever, fuck, new guns. They went out of their way to show off gameplay. They show off the 4 new heroes, what their names are, what they do, a little bit about them, and kind of what their abilities are about and what they can do, essentially, the usual when it comes to Borderlands. Now, that's all great and all. They got 18 minutes worth of footage. If you would like to check that out, go ahead and YouTube it. If you're excited for Borderlands, I don't blame you. It's a great big franchise. Good for you. I'm excited for you. It's not my cup of tea, but it is what it is. I'm a weirdo. But what I have to say is that Randy is a notorious liar when it comes to the gaming scene. Every time he's ever been a part of anything, especially when it comes to his Borderlands series, he's made quite a few claims and promises over the years, and or sentences and phrases. Let's just say that Randy Pitchford is notorious for lying. Now, he coming out of nowhere and saying that your game is, we're going to release the game ahead of time. Let it be known that in the gaming industry, that is bullshit. More times than not, it really truly means that they're going to be avoiding something in general. And wouldn't you know it, other games that are in September are also looking to push up. A lot of indie developers and a lot of other mini studios, and some games that I'm aware of that you don't even know about yet that are not announced per se, that are either skipping the end of September release window and completely pushing back into the November, December release, or just even opting to maybe even go for a Q1 release in 2026. Now, what in the hell would make all these companies want to do that? And especially Randy Pitchford and his team at Gearbox for Borderlands 4 push up a big release like that. What would make them do that? Well, you know what we've been covering for the last couple of episodes? It was none other than, of course, Grand Theft Auto 6. As you can tell with this picture that I've pretty much put up ahead of time. We got a slash here. I think I chose this picture ahead of time before we started recording. But it is pretty evident that Grand Theft Auto is right around the corner and that it is looking for a end of September, October, maybe even beginning of November release schedule. But you have to understand that companies want to take a 2-month head start or a 2-month, gap between the game, because this game is not only going to sell like crazy, whether I like it or not, but it's also going to maintain cultural relevance and the zeitgeist of all gamers for the next foreseeable month or two, and even then some. Especially with the fact that it'll launch with the regular game, and then, 3 or 4 months later, I think it's 2 to 3 months later, they're going to be, doing the GTA Online personification there for Grand Theft Auto 6. So this game is going to maintain that chugga chugga choo choo, everyone's fucking playing Grand Theft Auto 6 kind of thing. So any game that, can be pushed up and, played ahead of time, that's what's going to happen. When asked about this, because a lot of people thought the exact same thing that I'm speaking to you guys here today about, Randy went on the defense and said he is 100% clarifies and insists that Borderlands 4 did not get pushed up for the release or the intended release of Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, here's the problem, right? Randy is the creative director. He has no say on when the game releases. Guess who gets to do that? Parent company 2K. 2K Games gets to determine when the game gets pushed up. Whether the game comes out right away, whether the game comes out early, whether the game gets pushed back an entire month or more, or even if the game gets delayed a whole year. That is entirely up to 2K Games. Now, if 2K Games wants to release the game ahead of time, even if the game isn't even finished, well, guess what? That's going to happen, whether you like it or not. So, that decision is not because, the team is cooking, as Randy would have you believe. No, the truth really is Grand Theft Auto is right around the corner, and Randy knows that his fledgling series that completely is just the same shit since 2009 and 2011 and so forth, it's the same old shit. People are tired of this. I don't think these games have changed since the last time I tried one of these fucking things. So, if you're excited for Borderlands 4, the game's coming early. They got some footage to show off. It looks like the team has it, running around roughly as you'd expect. It doesn't look all that different or unique to me personally, but that's just me. If you're into Borderlands 4 and you're excited for the release of that, let me know. Do you believe that Randy's a lying little fat pig bitch who pretends to be part of the cultural zeitgeist and my team and I are cooking? You're 52, Randy! Stop talking like you're in the cafeteria with me, you bitch! Fuck you, Randy! I hate you, Randy. Fuck you. Anyways, that was part of that goofy little act. Next thing up on our list. Don't know how to segue into this, so we're just going to jump in there. You remember how I was excited for Weapons? Well, Weapons has a trailer, and oh boy, oh goofy, oh gobby goo, that shit looks fucking cool as fuck, dude. And honestly, it is now my most anticipated film of 2025. Yes, I'm excited for the Fantastic Four. I love me my Fantastic Four. Always been a Fantastic Four fan. Yes, I like dinosaurs, and as bad as that last Jurassic Park World Dominion was horror fucking bull, I still am excited for the new Jurassic Park film, whose name escapes me. It's Jurassic World Rebirth, I believe is what it's called. I'm excited for more dinosaurs. Who the fuck doesn't like dinosaurs? I am excited to go see Thunderbolts, and we will be covering that here in this story briefly. And it will be our segue into the next topic, hopefully. But we're going to be seeing that, and me and the wife will see it, and we might even review it and have a video for you guys tomorrow. We'll see. But besides that, I'm excited for, Superman, of course. But out of all the movies I'm excited for, I didn't think some weird horror movie by the director of The Barbarian would have my full attention. But here we are. I think that fucking trailer looks sick. Now, there's a chance this movie is, got the fucking Avengers level team of editors that is splicing together the greatest fucking trailers ever and doing a cultural impact on us with these really cool marketing strategy, right? Kudos to the team because it's working. I want to see this fucking film. Now it might be shit. It might end up being, oh wow, they got me, right? And believe me, I'll bitch about it. But as of right now, out of all the films that are coming out, and there's a lot to be excited about, that is probably on the top of my list right now. I'm excited for it. Hey, speaking about being excited, my dad loves this franchise, and he always takes the family to go see these things, so it'll probably be a little thing that we go to do sometime this year, whenever it comes out. Oh, wait, no, I got the answer here. November 14th, when Now You See Me, Now You Don't, the third film in the Now You See Me franchise. A trilogy, if you will. Now, the first movie's great twist. If you have not watched it, you gotta go see it. If you liked it enough, then you'll enjoy the second one. I don't think the second one's nearly as good as the first one, but still, good twist, good ideas, great little magic, and great little partake. Now we got the team is apparently disbanded, but they're coming back together to work out their differences with a new set of team, with a new generation of 4 magicians. The downside to it is that this guy, I forget his name here. His name is Justice Smith, a little black kid who's been in the new Jurassic World films and was in Detective Pikachu and Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, every movie besides the Detective Pikachu, he's passable at best in that film, right? I tolerate him. But I'm going to be honest right now, I fucking hate him as an actress. Actor, he's annoying as fuck. And he's part of the new group of magicians here, if you will. And I don't know, I tend to avoid movies with Justice Smith in it. He's annoying, especially that, Council of Magical Negroes. What the fuck was that? What a garbage film, dude. He's always the woe is me, plays the black guy card. He's trying to always get that fucking sympathy. I think he's really lost the plot when it comes to a lot of these things. He even tried to make derail the Dungeons and Dragons film, which I don't give a fuck about either. And he tried to make it like a cultural thing, like, oh, it's okay for black people to play Dungeons and Dragons. Like, dude, it was always okay. You're just a fucking idiot. Shut up. Shut your fucking mouth, dude. He's an annoying twit, so hopefully they'll keep a microphone out of his fucking mouth because he's annoying as fuck. I'd rather them focus on the 4 original, and I don't know. I don't recognize any of the other newer magicians that are there, but trailer looks semi-promising. It didn't really tell me much. We'll see, but my dad loves these things, so I'm glad that he's got something to look forward to that isn't just Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. But yeah, let's move on to some video game news before we get it back into the movie. We jump into the movie side of things because I'm trying to pad this out with some more news. But if you're still playing Sea of Thieves, well, congratulations. Oh, shit. Well, I'm going to have to edit this out. I thought that said Sea of Thieves. I'm not going to edit that out. I fucked up. I'm gonna own up to this fuck up. But Sea of Stars is getting a DLC, Thrones of the Watchmaker. I genuinely thought this said Sea of Thieves, and it is not. I don't know what this game is. I genuinely thought this was Sea of Thieves. I am completely fucking sorry, people. Well, if you are into Sea of Stars, it's getting a DLC. Apparently, it was debated on whether or not it was going to get this DLC. And apparently it happened. It looks like weeb shit, so I'm not into it. Let's move on, people. Sorry about that. I apologize. Hey, guys. Looks like Season 2 is coming to wrapping up when it comes to Year 2 of Street Fighter 6 with the June 5th release for the Nintendo Switch 2. And Elena's release date is there, which just so happens to coincide with the release of Street Fighter Year 1 2 Fighter Edition. And it looks like that we, as Street Fighter fans, are not going to have to look forward to waiting too long, because apparently Season 3 will be announced literally a week or less after the release of Elena. I'm assuming this is to try and continue the hype train for Street Fighter 6, get people that may have jumped on to the Nintendo Switch 2 version. I definitely think that it's going to get a decent amount of sales just due to the fact that it is like one of the launch titles, and that tends to help with the, pushing sales. Though it is the first game, it does have the infamous first game moniker of being just an empty case and just the game key cards that we talked about at the beginning of this episode. But to keep that train going, they're going to be releasing, or at least announcing, the plans for Season 3, Year 3, and potentially who those 4 or maybe even 5 characters will be for Street Fighter 6. So that's pretty interesting. I love Street Fighter, that's why we cover it here. And we'll look forward to Elena when she drops at the beginning of June. Hey, let's go ahead and talk some more video game news, but it looks like Far Cry 4 has for some reason been updated, given a 60 frames update from being low. My goodness. My brain today. Sorry, everybody. It's been locked in at 30 frames. Now it's being said that for the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 5 versions of the game, Far Cry 4 has been updated with 60 frames. Now, it's like, okay, whatever, who gives a shit? But that's not it when it comes to Far Cry. Because not only that, but Far Cry New Dawn will also be getting the same update. Far Cry 5 has already had this update not too long ago, about a year or so ago. And Far Cry 6 was already at 60 frames. But they're updating the frames for these games, and they're putting Far Cry 4 alongside New Dawn on Xbox Game Passes, and are getting some free play days around the weekend for both the PlayStation Network and Xbox, if you are so inclined to. They also updated Far Cry 4 to have achievements on Steam. So now it begs the question, who the fuck cares? I get it. No one cares. I don't either. But all this Far Cry 4, Far Cry New Dawn, and Far Cry support out of nowhere from a company like Ubisoft, of all people, has me gearing up to think that they're probably in the midst of announcing another Far Cry game. Whether this is Far Cry 7 or another spin-off, it is probably in its best bet to keep the franchise alive, because it is one of their biggest selling ones next to Assassin's Creed and the ever-chugging dog shit that is Rainbow Six. Now, do you think it's going to be Far Cry 7? My God, 7 of these things, holy shit. Or do you think it's going to be a spin-off game? As of late, it's been Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, Far Cry Primal, Far Cry 5, Far Cry New Dawn, and Far Cry 6. So the pattern has been mainline, spin-off, mainline, spin-off, mainline, spin-off, and in New Dawn's case, spin-off / continuation of 5. I don't know. It seems like all this Far Cry news might be a red herring and they're just trying to do something nice, but I wouldn't put it past Ubisoft and those Frenchmen. They're definitely doing something to try and get people thinking about Far Cry and getting them back in the hamster wheel. So that way, when they do announce a new Far Cry game, your brain has this medley of, I like that, and then you go and you play and you buy it, you know? Hey, shout out to Ubisoft, though. Thanks for the support, guys. I love you guys. And that's about it for video game news, but we're going to move on to some more movie news here for you. Figured we'd split this one up, and then we'll round this one out with a funny little thing that's happening in the world, and of course we'll talk about some TV shows as well. Now, I'm trying to keep away from the internet when it comes to Thunderbolts and the early reviews and all the talks about it. But it seems like it is overwhelmingly one-sided, and people can't say enough about Marvel's Thunderbolts, and what they can't say enough about is enough good things. Everybody seems to be on the same train when it comes to this. Apparently, it's the best Marvel film in a long time. They're enjoying it. They think it's really, really good, and probably one of the best films in the fifth phase of Marvel's ever chugging MCU. Now you're going to see a bunch of people hop on the bandwagon because, oh look, it's great to be a Marvel fan again. I always love these movies. I'm excited for this film. We're going to do a spoiler-free and a spoiler review for this. I've been debating it, but you know what? I really do want to talk about it. So me and my wife will do a review, and I'll include my wife Tina in this one. I know the Minecraft one never phased out, but you know what? Fuck it. We'll do this one. But yeah, the reviews are pretty positive. People have a lot of nice things to say about Thunderbolts, and it's doing pretty well, so this has me excited for it. And let me know down in the comments, are you going to be seeing Thunderbolts? Have you already seen it? Are you time travel? Let me know. Hey, speaking of movies doing really well, though, a 20-year-old movie has hit the charts and was top of the box office, even beating out the likes of its own Disney bullshit. It looks like Revenge of the Sith has been making an impact, killing younglings, and doing very, very good for Disney as they bring back the 20-year anniversary re-release of Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith. One of my absolute favorite Star Wars, and it made, in just a weekend, $25.2 million on just a re-release. Now, that's not a lot of money, but when you're thinking about just how much... I mean, it's a lot of money for, Lifetime shit, but I'm talking about, like, for a company to re-release a 20-year-old movie, that's with stiff competition at that around this time, and, movies coming up, it's pretty crazy that the nostalgia runs hard for this. And it shows that Star Wars ain't dead as long as they have good stories to tell, or at least, the stories that we prefer. And, it's crazy to see that a 20-year movie, especially one that was so divisive when it came out at its time. That prequel trilogy was always hated on, and then over the years, the cultural shift and the precedent set for it has now changed widely, and it makes me wonder, like when the newer ones, what are like Force Awakens. What's it called? Jesus Christ, all the Rey Skywalker bullshit. When the Skywalker trilogy of sorts, when that starts to fucking, hit that 20-year gap, will the kids that grew up with those, will they remember it as fondly as we, the, generation prior to them, did with the Star Wars prequels? I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. But I prefer the prequels quite a bit. I've loved them over the years. I love them more and more as I grew up. I grew up with those, and I've loved them. And the final fight for the Revenge of the Sith. Oh my god! Man, it would have been something else. But yeah, so it's pretty cool that this film did as well as it did, and I'm excited for the future of actual, Star Wars to make a comeback. I know that there's a Grogu and Mandalorian TV show turning into a movie coming soon or whatever. It's a mouthful, but we'll see if it does well, or if the, fact that it was a TV show or a movie, a TV show turned into a movie will hurt its overall, box office appeal. We'll see. But it's nice to see that Revenge of the Sith still has a lot of people that love it, and still has a cultural impact to a vast majority of us today. And that is something special. Hey guys, we got a last couple episodes for you, but before we do that, I would like to take this chance to, say thank you guys as always. I know it's, I bitch and I complain or I just kind of go on tangents here with this show, but I do appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you guys listening this far. And if you can do me a solid, go ahead and like the videos, subscribe if you haven't already, and of course, share the video with friends and family, and they can just ignore my cringe ass or be like, yeah, you know what, I like this guy. Either way, we appreciate you, and the team, BDS and I, we're just, we're happy that you're listening. So thank you. Hey, speaking of the things that I'm listening to, I'm watching The Last of Us episode. The last episode was a drag, kind of crap. I hated it. And didn't hate it, but it was just so boring. And I'm like, holy shit, they really are about to fall off. The numbers suggest, though, that the episode was not well received and that a lot of people actually fell off. The number was drastically different, with a 35% drop off rate from episode 2 to episode 3. So clearly we are seeing exactly what I had suspected was going to happen with season 2 of The Last of Us, covering part 2 of the video game phenomenon or franchise or dead series, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we'll be keeping up with that as that happens every week. I'll check the numbers. We'll see how it goes. Maybe it spikes back up. I doubt it. I think it's going to be a downwards spiral from here. But 35% drop off rate, that's insane. It's a lot of women that wanted to see that beautiful man, Pedro Pascal. They're like, Pedro! No! Oh, sorry about your eardrums, people. Hey, the Gemstones final episode is this weekend on Sunday. It'll premiere this Sunday. And then let me know in the comments, do you think I should review this series? Is it kind of 4 seasons too deep? What are your thoughts on this? Is anyone actually watching this show? I know I'm watching the show, but I love watching, what's his name? Oh my goodness. I'm going to blank on his name here. Time for some research, people. Hold on. The Righteous Gemstones, Season 4. Danny McBride. My goodness, you'd think I'd know his name after. I've watched a lot of Danny McBride's shows over the years. I've watched Eastbound and Down. I love that show. So hilarious. Vice Principals was great, and The Righteous Gemstones has been pretty darn good as well. I love his movies like Land of the Lost and Your Highness and what have you. I've always watched a lot of Danny McBride's stuff, so that's why I've been watching The Righteous Gemstones, but apparently it's been doing pretty well. So let me know if you guys are watching that, if that's something you'd like to see me cover in a future episode. But that was just kind of like a fishing thing. We got 2 more things to talk about. One last thing before we go, or 2 things. First and foremost, Dexter's coming back July 11th with Dexter Resurrection. 3rd time's the charm, people. They're going to hopefully have a good ending for us, because Dexter, the original series, was not very good in terms of the ending. Great series, phenomenal, legendary stuff. You know, kind of teeters towards the end of the seasons. You know, you could tell they're getting a little bored. But still, overall, I've seen the series twice now, almost 3 times if they're at that. I love the Dexter series. But we all have to admit that the Dexter show had a very poop ending. And then they tried to right the wrongs with Dexter New Blood, and they proceeded to shit on our chest with an even shittier ending. Don't know how that's possible. 10 episodes, 9 of which were really fucking good, and then suddenly they poop and they shit on us with a half-baked, half-ass ending with Dexter New Blood. I don't know how they do that. Well, They have a spin-off series called Dexter Original Sin, which is the young Dexter. Seen all that. Great show. It definitely fills in the gaps of like the lore if you're really into Dexter stuff. But at the beginning of that, they kind of confirm that, oh look, he didn't actually die. He was, he didn't get his shot. Spoiler alert, he didn't actually die. He's in the hospital. He's critical. So how he gets out of that situation, we'll see, because Dexter Resurrection will premiere with the first episode on Showtime, aka through. If you have Paramount, you can do it through Paramount Plus with the Showtime expansion, or if you got Showtime on Amazon, wherever you have Showtime, you can catch the premiere of Dexter Resurrection when it comes out July 11th, and we'll keep you posted on new news and stuff like that. I'll try not to do too much. I know that the Dexter Working run heavy, and that a lot of people already have some crazy information regarding that TV series, so I don't like to speculate when it comes too much. We like speculating more with video games. I'll try not to do that with show, because if I let my Dexter obsession get the best of me, I'll be here all week. Hey, we have one final story for you guys. This one's a bit of a oddball, but we're going to cover this and we'll see how it does. And I threw it here at the end of the show for anyone still listening, and also so that way we don't get too much in trouble with this one, because it's a little sensitive, you see. the topic. So apparently the UK, who has been the border patrol, or not border patrol, but kind of the middleman for Russia when it comes to electronic goods, when it comes to exports. So if the controller's made here in the United States, like it is for Xbox, it goes to the UK. And then everything that is made by Sony is actually made in Mexico when it comes to the PlayStation brand. And then Nintendo, surprisingly, does all their stuff out of another country as well. Anyways, the middleman happens to be Britain. Well, Britain has sanctioned a ruling that they are going to ban the export of video game controllers to Russia in an attempt to stop Vladimir Putin and their use of controllers for unarmed and curb the drone attacks that have been happening, hoping that this will stop drone usage and stuff like that. That's really fucking hilarious, given the fact that most times you're just upsetting the gamers. You know, the gamers up in Russia, the gamers up in Ukraine. I don't know who the fuck this is going to do, but I'm going to be honest with you. Russia doesn't really use that, and if they actually do a quick search, you'll find out that Russia already has a company that develops controllers, and you might find this familiar. If you're actually watching the video, you'll see the photo here of it already, and it's already up there because I thought it was funny. But Logitech is a Russian-based company when it comes to the manufacturing of controllers. Now, Logitech is not technically a Russian company, but the production of those third-party Logitech controllers for the PC and Xbox brands of consoles are actually made there in Russia. And that's usually the controller that has no background or additional things hidden in the back, like the Microsoft controllers and Sony and Nintendo controllers tend to do. So they end up using those anyway. So who the fuck are they hurting? Again, it's the general idiots over in the UK and then people in power that have no fucking idea what they're talking about when it comes to bans, especially when it comes to the usage of video games and video game items. The one search, it took me less than a minute. Like, seriously. Anyways, they're going to be using Logitech controllers and rocking the Logitech controllers when they're drone striking the fuck out of people. Whatever the hell's going to happen, I don't know. All I know is that every time I think of Logitech, I think of that submarine where they had the Logitech controller, and then it was still the motherfucker that you can bounce off a wall was still intact when they went to find the remains. You know, rest in pepperoni to the crazy rich fuckers that went in the submarine, the Titan. But yeah, I thought it was a little funny. Also, I actually have a Logitech still in my I have what's called the bin basket, and it's got a bunch of old controllers and I collect controllers and I'm weird like that. And I still have mine that I had when I had a PC for like 2012, and we were making PC videos, me and my friend. Holy hell. It just made me laugh because it was such it's like a brick, and we would spin that fucker around and smash people. So it's like they left them the Nokia Lumia phone of controllers. It's like you didn't put a stop to anything. So anyways, that's hilarious. That's all the news that we got for you. But if you like what you saw, again, feel free to like, subscribe, share with some friends and families, and we appreciate you listening. Tune in this Friday at some point tomorrow, or if you're a time traveler, then this shit's old. But tune in tomorrow or now and check out the spoiler-free review of Thunderbolts when we cover that. But thanks again. I've been your host. I'm Ethan, and enjoy your weekend, people. Bye. See you around.